Woohoo! Happy birthday, Poseidon! Yay! Poseidon? What's that? You're probably wondering. Well, my little dimwits who have been living under a rock when it comes to the things I talk about on my channel, Poseidon is a 2006 live-action disaster movie directed by Wolfgang Peterson and stars Richard Dreyfuss and Kurt Russell, as well as plenty of other people, including the kid who played one of the three kids in Evan Almighty, if you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, played by Jimmy Bennett. Yeah, that was also him, believe it or not. Remember in my Hate for Made in Thailand video, in a nutshell thing that I made a while back, which I may or may not redo because it honestly is very poor quality compared to the stuff I make nowadays. Yeah, that was Jimmy Bennett, the kid who was Lucas Jack, basically, in that video. And he was also the kid in this. Some of you may already know about Poseidon thanks to me talking about it before in videos about whether it be deleted scenes I've discovered or showcasing my Minecraft recreation of the ship. Well, not really mine. It was made by Doku200. Credit to him, but I just downloaded the map and have heavily modified it to add more detail, replace things and make things better, add rooms, etc. You basically get the point. And yeah, that and several other things. My salute on Doku200. The fact that it was my profile picture multiple times now as well. I might as well bring that up too. It's on my channel banner. You basically get the idea. Poseidon's a big integral part of my loves and interests, to be honest. And I haven't really been giving it much focus recently, unfortunately enough, because I've been busy analyzing Rogue Robots. Wink, wink, when it comes to something that's coming tomorrow. Be excited for that. I've been focusing on improving my diecast collection and watching videos about Thomas and stuff like that. Rigging on my Minecraft recreation of Night Museum, which requires a lot of rewatching of clips. I was interested in Evan Almighty for a big chunk again. I mean, I always am. I'm just putting my main focus onto different things at certain points. And if something starts to get stale or I'm sucking it dry too much, then I go to the next thing. While anything minor or something like that, in terms of like a discovery or whatever happens in the background, I just kind of let it do its thing and I enjoy it while it's in the background, and then it eventually becomes the main focus again. But yeah, now Poseidon is currently my main focus because it's its birthday today. Well, 15th anniversary, I suppose you should say. So, is Poseidon a great film? I'd say yes. Every time I watch it, I severely enjoy myself so much. If you were to watch it, you may think to yourself, it was fine or whatever, or yeah, that was good. Some of you may think it was bad or so if you were to watch it. But the reason why I'm still such a fan of it is not just simply because I enjoy the story and the effects and stuff like that so much, but also because it has such a history. Whether it be Wolfgang Peterson and the other actors and other people addressing the fact that this is not meant to be a remake of the classic 1972 Poseidon Adventure film. That film is a classic, and this newer version that was pitched by, I don't know, Wolfgang, who knows? Well, they basically saw the original film. They enjoyed it. They thought it was a bit campy at times, but there was a lot of excitement, and they enjoyed Julie Winter's character, or whatever her name was. I can't exactly remember now, unfortunately. The fat lady, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they enjoyed the classic film, and they saw the idea of Poseidon. They thought, hey, let's make our own little version of that. They didn't want to remake the original. They don't even want to reuse the same character names or anything like that, and reuse the same story beats like climbing the Christmas tree and yada yada, stuff like that. Going through the engine room to escape. No. Bow thrusters and putting things into the propellers in order to blow them up, sort of it. Don't think of it as a Michael Bay thing. It's a long story. And, simply using collapsed stairs instead of a Christmas tree. Just different things, and that makes it a lot more enjoyable. Unlike the 2005 version, which, even though it's kind of an okay guilty pleasure of mine, does repeat a lot of the stuff from the classic version, while at the same time adding its new stuff, which a lot of the times doesn't really work very well. But yeah, I love the 2006 version so much, and there's a lot of reasons why. I enjoy the characters even though they're not very well developed. But here's the real kicker. The thing about Poseidon is that it would have been a lot different if it weren't for possibly Wolfgang Peterson or whoever kind of putting it through a sort of chopping block. Yeah, we're doing a whole Lost World style kind of thing, but in this case, it's actually a lot more severe. Because the Lost World had a few things that were like completely removed, only like a few screenshots exist. Like the baby T-Rex having its leg getting broke. No, I mean like full-on shots of the kid driving the flipping ship, or entire characters that were completely removed. Scenes of bonding between various characters and possibly other things. There was like 18 to 20 minutes removed from the film. Not to mention possibly other various shots that could have been added that would have added more cool stuff. Like the Captain and Gloria dying as they get hit by the water that was in the trailers, as well as plenty of other things. Yeah, I've been discovering more and more things to images, and I have been so badly been hoping that eventually Warner Brothers will hear the outcry of me and a few other people out there. And a little shout out to you if you're one of those people. Wink, wink. For them to release a Blu-ray or whatever 4K, who knows, re-release of the film that includes all these deleted scenes and possibly other cool stuff like some behind-the-scenes stuff of creating the ship or stuff like that, etc. So yeah, the story, well, on its own being very simple, I do wish it was, released in its entirety so that way people possibly didn't give it such negative reviews and stuff like that, because it really does deserve so much better, because there's so much goodness and potential here. It's just simply because of studio mandling or the director not really understanding something that it ended up the way it is. So yeah, let's just hope for someday in the future we get those scenes. But until then, we have the movie itself, and it's satisfying enough. I love this ship so incredibly much. Unlike modern day cruise ships, which are all blue and white, boring giant bricks on water, this thing looks like a Queen Mary 2 streamlined yacht thing with a futuristic UFO looking area below the bridge, to the sloped design of all the cabins on the side, the giant atrium on the far back, the huge P symbol on the fin. It's just a gorgeous thing to look at. I absolutely adore it. I love other ships. I adore Titanic so much. But man, the Poseidon is just leagues and bounds above. Not to mention the inside. And this is something that's cool about the film, is the set design. Whether it be all the various sets that they built or other impressive feats from the visual effects and everything else, it really is just a standout. Instead of doing what a lot of other films nowadays do by having tons of just small sets and a ton of blue screen crap, Poseidon, they went all out. They built the ballroom, they built the lobby, they built all these big sets. And it really does feel amazing at times. And they often would do them upside down, and the level of detail and the costume design as well, by putting holes at the bottom of some of the actors' shoes in order for water to get out easier. Having so many different shirts for the main character Dylan so that he looks like he's grimy and greasy and wet and burnt on the way through the journey. It truly is incredible. And hey, I haven't even said anything about what the actual story is. The story of Poseidon is about a cruise ship with the main characters on it being hit by a big rogue wave on New Year's Eve and capsizing. Actually, it's from this side. And getting flipped upside down. Well, like this, and then upside down. And it's up to these surviving characters inside to escape through the bow thrusters that would be right here. But since this is the SS Hope or whatever, just pretend I get out through that. Okay. And before the ship then sinks. And yes, that does mean that my beautiful, lovely Poseidon does indeed sink. From the engine room to the little cranes on the front of the bow to the various cabins and the restaurants, all that, completely down to the bottom of the ocean. I know, it's very saddening and upsetting, but it's a realistic version, I must say. But still, if we get a extended cut of the film, that means I get to see more of my beautiful ship. And that means more discoveries, more recreations, etc. See, guys, please help me so that I can get the Poseidon of my dreams, as well as other people's dreams. But yeah, I love the characters. The visual effects are also amazing. Whether it be the usage of tons of water, because at the time, they used so much water that it was the most amount of water ever used on a stage before. Not the most amount of water used for a film, but on a stage, it was the world record breaker. And it may or may not still hold that title. Who knows? I need to figure that out. Also, there was the Guinness World Record broken back then. That was in the Guinness World Book of Records, by the way. It was the fact that the Poseidon ship itself and all, which obviously was CGI. They can't just build a gigantic cruise ship or use a real one. That's bland and boring. I mean, the 1972 version was already a normal Queen Mary, so yeah. But the model that they made for the Poseidon, it was so detailed, so realistic, so reflective, so shiny, so innovative, and just so well textured and beautiful that it broke the World Guinness Book of Records or whatever for the most complicated, largest, detailed, individual CG proper item or whatever ever made. And if it still holds that record, that's amazing. Obviously, you can't just make a good movie out of just breaking a few records or whatever. You need to have more than that. But I definitely say the film does have that, most especially in the cut version that we still need something of. Please listen to us, Warner Brothers and Wolfgang Peterson. But yeah, I love this movie so very much. I love the sets. I love the music so much. I love the actors. They do such an amazing job. I love the fact that there's this history behind it. I love this passion of director behind it as well. The reason why Wolfgang Peterson chose this idea was partially because of his trilogy of water films. He made something called Das Boot, and there's also The Perfect Storm, and then he and possibly other people, including Warner Brothers, got together and made the idea of a reimagining of Poseidon in their own way. And Wolfgang immediately took it, because it's a water film, it's perfect. And then we ended up getting my favorite of the films. I've only seen parts of Perfect Storm thanks to it being on TV with my dad. But yeah, it definitely does not deserve the critical panning that it's kind of gotten way back then at times. It has a somewhat low Rotten Tomatoes score, but yet again, look at the Rotten Tomatoes scores for Shrek 4 or, God forbid, poor Road to El Dorado. Trust me, Rotten Tomatoes can sometimes get absolutely pooperized at times. I mean, look at Cars 2 at times. Or even Evan Almighty. Maybe even some of the Night at the Museum films could be a bit higher. Monster House is alright in terms of the rating. Poor Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is like at a 50% currently, I think. I'm too hurt by the ratings in order to check now, honestly. But yeah, people definitely need to start changing their views once they get to appreciate the film a whole lot more. And yeah, I already said that I love the music so much. It's so intense and thrilling. The capsizing sequence is beautiful, so well shot, so enjoyable. All the nooks and crannies, from the pools on top to the various cracks and cabins and libraries and lounges, the various pools on the back overflowing, the DJ area, the kitchen, the engine room, every single compartment, the lobby, the ballroom, that whole elevator sequence as well. Everything is just amazing in this film. I love it so much, and it's, even though people sometimes question the realism of like the physics, like the ship being upside down and then the engine room explosion and then it starts to go this way, but odd things happen for various reasons all the time in reality. Besides, you can't really say that the original Poseidon Adventure was 100% realistic the whole time either. So yeah, even if this one is unrealistic in parts, still don't think that it's not the first time it's happened. May I remind you that these are the same people that sometimes get angry over Fallen Kingdom and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, why did they have such stupid things in Fallen Kingdom when those same things exist in Jurassic Park and people were fine with them then? Why can't you be fine with them now? Plus, it's not like a rehash either. So yeah, I think I've basically said everything I need to about Poseidon. It's an awesome movie, and you definitely, absolutely need to see it. Not to mention the fact that the intro sequence is also one of my favorite, and I almost said end credits, opening credit sequences of all time. I love the music, the opening logo of Poseidon. I love the way they showcase the ship at first being underwater. Plus, it's one of the few instances where we see parts of the actual base of the ship underwater, believe it or not. Now can I see what the engines look like? I mean propellers, what the propellers would look like underwater. That would be amazing. Yes, please. So yeah, happy birthday, Poseidon. And if you're one of the people who likes this movie, please come forward and tell me. There's nothing to hide, folks. I know for a fact that I am not the only one out there. There's so many other people that still love this movie. And I do too. So yeah, happy birthday, Poseidon. Happy 15th anniversary. You deserve it.